it's pretty interesting from the Red Wings' point of view. Centennial season for them. And remember, this is a team that's won 11 Stanley Cups, 25 straight years. Year in, year out, they made the playoffs, but now it's 9 straight years without. And guys on the team, they're not shying away from this. This is before the season. Andrew Kopp comes right out and says, hey, let's put it on the table. Do or die type year. Have to make the playoffs. It's our only goal, our only focus. Anything short of that is going to be looked at as not good enough. I don't think we can be fearful in admitting that. You love that. That gets the fans fired up. So what happens? The Wings come out and they get smoked by Montreal 5-1. But it's a long season, so you don't panic. Right, Todd McClellan?
I thought we got off to a good start, the start we wanted. But our game management, you're going to hear that all year from me because clearly it's still a huge issue. We just played the game. We didn't play to win the game. We have no chance. You know, and the players will say, they probably have already said to you that, you know what, we can fix this, we can when it's time. Some of them have been doing it for years.
You know, and I thought it was interesting that he said, like, you know, you got to be getting tired of this. If you are someone who's been with this Red Wings team through this, it's got to be at the point where enough's enough and you're tired of it. But it is after one game. You see Patrick Kane on the ice. Is it too early to play this card if you're Todd McClellan?
No, I think it's important that they set the tone early. You want to build a season the first week in, right? And to their, you know, they're talking about do or die. I don't think you can ease into making the playoffs. They're at a point now where they have to demand it. I think that's absolutely correct. Like, the time is now to make that jump. They need to be a team that in the conversation of making the playoffs. They've had a lot of years to try to rebuild here. I just think you're pushing it forward too much if you say, yeah, we'll see how this year plays out. So do or die, got to make the playoffs. That's what all playoff teams set when they start the season, right? You have to make it. Otherwise, it's a disappointment. I think they should be in that conversation now.
I agree with you, Hank, and Liam, going back to the original question, like, is it too early to play it? Normally, after the first game of the season, yes. But I love this move by Todd McClellan. And obviously there's a lot of pressure from within. They haven't made playoffs the last 9 years. But I just, the way they started, right, they ended up giving in the second half of that first period, I believe, like 7 or 8 odd man rushes. So as a coach, you don't have many of those bullets throughout a season. So him playing it at that point, I thought was a masterclass. They've responded unbelievable with back-to-back wins. And you also have to imagine it's probably hard for Todd McClellan after seeing that first game. Imagine walking into the coach's office when maybe Stevie Y comes down, right? So there is a lot of pressure internally, but I also like the fact that he put this on not only the core group that's been there a little while, but also this young up-and-coming part of the core group. I mean, they got like 4 or 5 guys in their lineup that are under the age of 22 years old, right? So this is a good time for them to learn where, hey, we got a little bit of adversity here. We're not just going to ease into our NHL careers. Pressure's on. Let's get this team back in playoffs after 9 years of absence.
And this year with a condensed schedule, too, I think there's even more pressure. Guys want to get off to a good start. And you look at every single roster around the National Hockey League, guys. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. I don't think this year we'll have any teams thinking about tanking. Not one team. Usually we'll have 1 or 2 teams thinking about tanking. They won't say it outwardly, but you can tell by their actions they want to tank. Chicago's not thinking that way. San Jose's not thinking that way. You know, Buffalo's not playing that well. They want to improve as well, too. So there's so much pressure on these teams now to get in the postseason because there's so much parity. But I want to go back to Dylan Larkin last year. All the comments he made near the end of the season, he's putting pressure on general manager Steve Eisman, saying, hey, we need some help here. Now it's up to the players. You have to force your GM's hand and say to him, we're going to play the way we're going to play and make you make those decisions come the springtime. Without any doubt whatsoever, we're going to put ourselves in that position. The first couple of games, it didn't happen, but good for Todd McClellan. Good for him to put the pressure on those guys. And
Just
even better,
you can't do it weekly, though.
No,
right? I mean, that's the thing.
You get a few of those bullets throughout the year, and if you overplay it, all of a sudden you lose the room. That's why, you know, you got to pick the right times, and that, in my opinion, was. And I like the fact that you brought up the Larkin comments, and that was after the season was done. He was expecting them to make a few more deadline moves to help them get over the edge and make it the playoffs. But to be fair, like Dylan Larkin, he's brought his part of the bargain. Like, he's 100%. Played so well, and including him along with that core that I mentioned, they've had great starts this season, stat-wise and with their play, just even from an eye test. So it's interesting times in Detroit, but I love the pressure, and this is going to make for an incredible story.
in goal, Cam Talbot, third straight start for him here. They went out and got John Gibson. Obviously, the first game was a disaster on many reasons, not certainly all on John Gibson, but he gets pulled. Talbot again. What do you think? Third straight for your old teammate.
Well, they know what they're getting from Talbot. He's been very steady over the last few years, and it's an opportunity for him to kind of establish himself. To your point, they brought in Gibson to be the starter, but that first game was not pretty. And maybe for him, it's a little reset, focusing on practice and kind of get back to it maybe later this week. But I like the fact that they have two guys that they're going to compete for the starting role. It's not a guarantee that Gibson's going to get the net, not at all. So I think Talbot now making the most of his opportunity here, those first couple starts.